Hey everyone, welcome to this month's workshop hangout here on Behind the Cache. I just want to tell you that I appreciate every one of you that are joining me today. Got some really cool stuff. Kind of got inspired with one of the previous builds that I've done, and we're going to kind of explore another way of using that element of it. Also, just let me know if the background music's a little loud or what. Just let me know. If it's just let me know in the chat. But I am so excited for everybody to be here. I'm going to kind of try and watch everything that's going to be going on in the chat as I'm building. So if I don't get to your comment or anything like that real quick, just understand I'm not here. I know I have my Gadget Talk podcast shirt on, but it's just me. Chad's not in the background doing anything. It's just me here today. So I want to thank Darren for joining us 7 a.m. on Sunday morning here. Awesome. Thanks for joining me on a Sunday morning. We got Jonathan, Hunter, 3R79 in Wales. So awesome. Got from down under and over in England. Hopefully we'll have some of our American friends joining us here as well. But I am just really excited for everybody being here today. It's been kind of crazy. Just kind of give you an update. It's kind of crazy here at the house right now. Chaos Coordinator is stuck in the room with Curtis because they have COVID. Nikki and I don't. So we got the rest of the house. We've been running everything, taking care of them and keeping them quarantined and everything. So it's been crazy. Plus doing regular work and other stuff that's been going on. It's kind of crazy. I missed my Chaos Coordinator, got Denmark in here. Oh, and Jonathan, not Wales, in England, North Wales. Not England. I'm sorry. Yeah, Wales. And then of course now we have Sir Drumalot on here, and he is down just south of me in Mississippi. Just want to welcome everybody here. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So that's just some aspects that's been going on, making sure that they're taken care of. But I wanted to do this build this week because I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and going to be using back here behind me. There's a drill press. So we're going to be taking some shots from back here from the drill press. We're going to be using that back here, and then just kind of getting a lot of fun. Of course, you got your great angle there on the drill press that we're going to be getting to later. So what am I talking about? So the build that I'm talking about, and I'm going to go ahead and come over here, is this one. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we did on the channel, I had this build going, and it has that hidden pin. And to let everybody know, yeah, I'm going to go with it from being underneath because that's just actually a really great place for it. And it was real easy to make, and it's just the nail dropping in there by gravity. Now, I kind of made a snarky comment to Jason or Hailmeister. He put a comment on there and said, "How are you doing? How's it springing back? Is that with a spring?" And I said, "No, it's even better. It's using gravity." So yeah, I kind of had a snarky comment, but that got me thinking, what if I did something with this nail as it drops down here, but added a spring to it so it actually had more tension here? Could I put that someplace else in a box that would help that? So just really curious. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be diving into kind of changing this up a little bit. Not even this one. This one's going to go to the side. I love the way this one is. And like I said, once again, I'll show it here on the camera. We got to close it up first. And those springs are really strong. So it drops in place. Cannot open it at all. Comes over, it opens it and pulls that up. So just real simple. And there it is, once again, how that works. And so I've printed more of these little rings for today, and because I'm going to need 2 of these. And so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be kind of setting this up to putting this to the side, and we're going to be starting to get into the build now. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump this over to the side of somewhere else in the workshop. I'm gonna put it back over here for right now. So I have already got all the pieces cut out because, y'all don't need to see me using my saws all the time. I can cut wood, I can cut PVC, and that's what this one is. This is all going to be in PVC once again. And I've got it clamped just right now to save time as well. But so all the different pieces are here, and I've got them labeled. So this one is, well, I said I had them labeled. Oh yeah, this is the top. So this is the top of the the birdhouse. Let me adjust that camera a little bit. So this will be coming up here eventually, up here. So that's just be a nice top to the birdhouse. But I'm not going to need that for a little bit. This is going to be something that's we're going to be dealing with quite a bit here very shortly. This piece, and there's the side that's not on right now. We're just going to kind of set those to the side. I even, while I was cutting everything out, I made a handle because this is going to be kind of cool that we're going to use here in a little bit as well. So let's see here. What else we got in here? We have just a little piece that's going to be coming on in a minute. Another small piece, once again, and then a couple other small pieces. Now, like I said, I've gotten all this stuff already pre-cut out because just to save time. And we're going to be using just PVC glue. Like I said, I'm going to be using the drill presses just right here behind me. And we're going to be kind of putting this together. Now, there's going to be some extreme lining up to do. So there's maybe some times that you may get to see me kind of being a little frustrated with trying to make sure that things are lined up. But hey, that's what the workshop build is all about, this live workshop. So I just really hope y'all enjoy it. Chat in the comments. We're going to have some different stuff that's going to be going on. I'm going to try and read those comments, and we'll have some time. If I get to the gluing today, while some of that's drying, I'll be able to feed some of the comments, and you guys can ask me questions. Put questions in the comments. Go for it. Wow, got somebody, more Australians, Netherlands. A lot of people are just joining us all from all around the world. I love this. Sacramento, Finland. Wow, this is just really cool. I love seeing all these different countries being represented here. Okay, so Paul's from Sacramento, and if Finland, I'm not Juani from Finland, Daphne Van from the Netherlands. So James Sanderson from Melbourne, Australia. It's 8 a.m. Saturday morning. I mean, this is awesome. Love seeing everybody from all around the world joining me today for this live workshop build. Just really means a lot to me. It really does. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And with it, so like I said, I've already gone through all the pieces that I have, and I probably got dust all over my shirt already. Fun part of working with PVC and wearing a black shirt at the same time. It does get dusty in here. So let's go ahead and get started. So switch up the camera here. I'm going to move this piece out of the way for right now, because what I need is this piece right here. And let me see if I'm going to adjust this camera for you. All right, so what I have here is just a simple piece. Now this piece is going to go inside the birdhouse, but I need to put it together because I want a hinge right here at the bottom of it. And you'll understand why the hinge, because it's actually going to serve two purposes when we put this together. And I have kind of put quite a bit of thought to it, and I want the smooth side out. So when you open up the cache, there's going to be a wall there, okay? And this is going to be on the inside of it. And so I want the smooth side on the outside, and that's why I've done 15-degree angle already up here at the top. And when I do my tops, they're always at a 15-degree angle. It's just a lot easier. It's always set. And my birdhouses are pretty much already ready to go. Now, I forgot to tell you, when I did this birdhouse, I used two different types of PVC board because I didn't want to have to cut on the inside. So I have, oh, good grief, what is this one? All right, so one board is 7 1/8, okay? So the wide boards are 7 1/8 wide, and on the inside, it's 5 1/2. And that's very crucial because I didn't want to have to necessarily come in and cut along the side of the PVC board here. I wanted it nice and smooth right down here. I didn't want to have to come in and cut it. So this actually fits. So I just had to do the single cuts here versus having to do a cut here and then cut along the side to make sure that it's going to fit in there. So that just another simple way that you can get the PVC board in different lengths or widths and lengths and however you want to do it to do your cuts. Because not everybody, like I said, not everybody has the tools that I have. So I'm trying to do this with basic tools on this. So all I've used on this is my compound router, and that's it, compound router saw. So, but that's what that's what I've used on this. So let's get back to this angle here. And all the parts that I have for this today, of course, I got some hinges, and these are 1.5 by 1.25 hinges. And I got these at Lowe's, so I didn't, nothing special, or a box. You can get these, pick these up at a box store, warehouse, or whatever you want to do, wherever you want to get your hinges. So all I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to set these up, and the way I want this to open is I want it to open out this way. So real simple. I'm going to adjust this camera once again so we can get this in here, and I may end up going to a different angle just because we may need to. All right, so this is always the fun part of trying to get these. I have not gotten the tool that I've been wanting that Chad has yet, and that's the one where it kind of pops it into down here. So, and I have that 15-degree angle down here at the bottom, so that's going to make it even more fun. So yeah, so let me go ahead and get my drill. And love seeing everybody on here. Thanks to you for joining us. We got our Canadian friend on here now. So we have a complete international viewership, and that is just really, like I said, that's just really, to me, that is just super cool. I absolutely love that. I mean, many of you don't know that, but see, and that's the fun part when you're trying to do these, is that the screw a lot of times will drop as I'm drilling. So it happens to all of us, and I may end up having to change up bits on this because this bit may be, yep, it's a little too big. So I got to get an actual screwdriver real quick. And when we did this show on on Gadget Talk, and Chad was showing some of the tools that he's got, he actually sent me a whole set of screwdrivers for the shop. So I really do appreciate that, because that really does come in handy. And there we go. Got the perfect size now. And I figured that's what was going to happen. So it's just going to put these in here. And Gary's on. Thanks, Gary. A little late. Yeah, that's all right. You haven't missed anything yet. Just getting stuff started. So, yeah, just kind of screwing these in here. Now, hey, I want to know if how many of y'all are coming out to Cache Fest as well, because there's, if you kind of do some announcement, I know we kind of cross over on a lot of stuff here, but if you come out and you book your hotel at the host hotel, there is a chance that you'll get to win a cache built by me. And that's just not, here's the cool thing about that cache. And I know, Gary, I'm going to pull a Gary here. I'm going to kind of spill some beans a little bit. But what's going to happen with that cache is it's not going to be something I've already made. We're going to work together, and we're going to come up with something new. So you get an opportunity for us to kind of get together and actually design a cache that is completely unique to you, maybe. And so we'll figure it out. And if I have to bring in another builder or somebody else to help with that, that's great. But we're going to work together, and I'll be building it on Behind the Cache. It'll be part of that. So be sure to, if you are coming out to Cache Fest and you've already booked your hotel at the host hotel, and you can find that on cachefest.com, go book that as soon as you can before it fills up. And then there's some special other stuff that's going to be on there as well. So as you can see, I'm just kind of screwing these hinges in place real quick. And one last screw here. One thing about the PVC is that it is pretty soft, so I can kind of push the screw in just enough so it grabs it. Sometimes. Yeah, so when you see my edited videos, you don't see all this kind of stuff as I'm kind of getting everything together. It's completely different when we're live, of course. And as I've said, we're doing different clients and stuff like that. If it's live, if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong live. All right, so now I've got that first part of that hinge on there. So now what I need to do is take a quick drink, because I've been yapping a lot. And what I'm going to come back in and do is go ahead and put the hinge on the next part of this. All right, so going to catch up a little bit as I'm seeing here. Let's see who we got. Scooby Loves Pooh. Hey, welcome. Glad to have you on. And Gary, yeah, sorry, Gary, I spilled some beans. I pulled a Gary. Oh, that's hot. Anyway, yeah, we're going to have to get some shirts made for Geocache Talk. It says, don't be a Gary. And on the back or something says, don't spill the beans or something. I don't know. We got to come up with a design. Hey, maybe that'll be a contest, Gary, for Geocache Talk. Coming up with a don't be a Gary shirt. That'd be kind of funny. Let me know what everybody thinks about that. If we do that for a promo or something like that. I'm just talking off the top of my head. Gary and I have not talked about this whatsoever. This is just how I roll. I just kind of think of things like this sometimes. But all right, so moving on. So we're going to get back to doing this other part of this hinge. Now remember, I wanted it completely smooth on this side. So what I'm going to do is come in and make sure this is lined up here. And I want those edges right there. And this is where a lot of times can get kind of difficult sometimes when you're doing your hinges, is when you're getting it right here. So I'm going to do one side, and then I'm going to do the next side, then I'll come back in and fill in the middle. It's a good thing I have this magnetic top on the screw driver. Let's see if I can get this. I really do appreciate that Chad got me these screwdriver set. It's because all the different types of screwdrivers I want. And if you go back to the Gadget Talk show of last year when we were doing the gifts for a gadget builder, this was one of the items on there. And so, yeah, this such a great and cool item. In a shop, you can't have too many screwdrivers, can't have too many measuring tapes, can't have too many clamps, and not enough bench space. That's all what you struggle with all the time in a shop. So, yeah, so I'm reading the chat at the same time that we're doing this. Oh, yeah, so, yeah, Sir Drama, gotta go. I'll try to drop back by. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see, Cody, I'd love to have you come up. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's just so much stuff that's going to be happening at Cache Fest. I mean, it's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We're working really hard on a lot of different things. There's such a lot of cool stuff here in Memphis. If you've never been to Memphis, come check it out. I mean, everybody knows of Elvis, but there's so much more here in Memphis than I even realized. All right. Sorry, I got a call. All right, so now we have that hinge on there, and that's really nice. So that'll actually come up really nice. Now, before we get too much further, I said I made a handle. Let me get a drink. So I said I made a handle. So this handle's going to go right here. I want that on the inside. And that's also going to help with some measuring that I'm going to be doing here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get that glued into place. And I have my trusty PVC glue. All right, so that's glued in place. Now the PVC glue is going to set pretty quickly. So, all right, so I'm going to jump back up here for a few minutes. While I let that dry. Hey, Gary, I may send you a link here in a few minutes to jump in with me. So, if that's cool. Just having some throat issues as I'm talking, and I need somebody to maybe fill in as I'm doing stuff. So might have you hang out with me for a little bit, Gary, if that's cool. So get ready to jump on with me here in a minute. So as we're talking, I'm gonna go ahead and send you that link, and you can just jump in here in just a minute. Sorry, everybody, don't mean to cough in your ear. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of been kind of crazy in my house lately. So yeah, and it's pretty solid already, as you can take a look at that. So I'm already able to use that, and that's locked into place, and that's a really great handle. And what I did with this was, when I did my cuts 15 degrees, I just kind of have this little piece left over, and I just cut it off to make it a nice little handle. All right, so let me find this, Gary. Here we go. All right, Gary, just sent you the link real quick. So if you can jump on here in a minute, just let me know. All right, so we have this aspect of it done now. Now the fun part, or sometimes not the so fun part, is this next part that we're going to be doing. We have to come up here, and remember I talked about using that nail and doing something here. Well, what I want to do is create another hinge in here. And I want it kind of be right here in the middle, so it'll actually pivot at this point, not necessarily at the top. But before we even get to that, I had this other piece, and I'm gonna go ahead and I want to glue this into place too. And I want to make sure that it's nice and even, but I want it up a little bit off that hinge. So I'm gonna use this ruler and get my PVC glue once again, and go ahead and put this in here. So the PVC glue had dried on the outside, PVC cement, and when I was opening it up, it kind of poked my finger. All right, Gary, I'll let you in just a second. All right, and then I'm just going to set that right there and make sure that's nice and even. And this, you'll see what's going to happen here pretty soon. All right. Hey, Gary.
Hey, how is everybody?
Doing good here. I
Good.
just sent you. I didn't send you the main links. I don't know if you can direct stuff or not.
No, but that's okay. I'm here.
Okay, I can do a lot of it from on this side, but yeah, just kind of haven't talked a lot lately since Jess has been locked up. So my throat is kind of
no problem
locking up.
I had a question for you to give you kind of as you're working on that. You know, one of the things that has come up, or I've noticed on Gadget Talk or in various places, people are asking about the PVC boards. You've been working now with PVC board for, I don't know, a year or so extensively. Yeah. Have you found anything other than the dust that you got to be careful of when you're cutting? Have you found any issues using a PVC board for a gadget cache?
No, not at all, because I can actually, one of the things I really love about it is that it doesn't swell. So I don't have to worry about my wood swelling. So I can keep those tolerances really tight. So I don't have to worry about any of that. So that's just really, really great.
I guess bugs don't care about PVC board.
Bugs don't care about it. They're going to last a lot longer. They're going to weather a lot better. So I know I've absolutely loved how this has actually been handling.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really excited for this. So I just really like the PVC board. It's just it really does work out to be just a really great item, because there is so much. It's so versatile, and I can do everything with the PVC board as I can with regular wood. So that's just really easy to do with that.
So no issues with like gluing or sticking a nail through it. It doesn't split. You know, we've all been there where you stick a nail in something in I mean, even if you do plan ahead a little bit, or if you don't, sometimes I don't even plan ahead. you stick a nail in it. It's like, well, I split the wood. And you're like, dang it. So I got to start over or whatever.
No,
but
I haven't had real. In fact,
that's good.
I haven't even used a lot of nails with PVC, with the PVC board. I've just pretty much been using all the
screws,
the cement, not even screws.
Oh, cement. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And it's pretty much watertight too. If you put that cement on your seams,
right,
it's gonna be watertight. My dad did a water fountain, water feature in his backyard, and he did the basin out of PVC board, and he just used the PVC cement like I have here, which is this, which I picked up at Lowe's.
Right.
Just heavy duty cement, and it is watertight, and he hasn't had any leaks with the issue with it all. So
wow, that's pretty good, because usually I always get that. Darren's asking in the chat room about, do you have many out in the wild? How does it handle? Yeah, there you go. UV in the long term. That's a good question.
As far as I can see, they've handled perfectly fine. I've had other friends that have put them out as well, and they've been really good. I've put them out in the backyard. I'm kind of holding a lot of my caches right now because of Cache Fest, and I knew this was coming for a while.
Yeah.
So I've been beta testing them out in the backyard and sitting out there, and we've had the ice and everything like that, and have no issues with them whatsoever. I mean, the biggest thing that you're going to have issues is with your mechanical aspect of it still, and that's not going to change for any Gadget cache that you have. Jonathan's asking about Nano Kids. Yeah. I know they're doing a lot of different stuff right now. I don't know if they're going to get back into doing the videos. I mean, they're going to come back, and we're still doing geocaching with kids and that aspect of it. But for them coming out to do other stuff,
a lot of dancing, a lot of Lego League going on.
There's so much stuff going on, and as we've all know, a lot of our times our kids phase out of geocaching. As much as we want them to stay in it, they kind of start phasing out of it, and that's kind of a little bit of what's happened with them. So we're just kind of, I mean, I'm not going to push it because I don't want to ruin it for them at all. But yeah, they're just going to be coming out doing events and stuff like that when we're out here. They still love that aspect of it. But do they go caching all the time? No. And they're wanting to do some other video type stuff other than geocaching. So that's kind of give you a little bit of an update on them on that. So, all right. So I've got this is all set here now. I'm gonna go ahead and go full screen, Gary. All right, so this is kind of already set now. And I did do these other little pieces just because I thought maybe I might need to put them in here, but I can put those in later. So I'm not going to put those in right now because that may be pretty good, but I may put those in just as extra support a little bit later. So the step that now, this is where it's going to start getting kind of tedious, Gary, when I'm doing this next part. So I'm going to move my drinks. Oops. Hopefully I don't hit any buttons on my camera as I'm moving this around. Because
you pull a Chad and turn yourself off.
Chad. Okay. Ooh. All right. That's actually going to be perfect. That handle is actually, I did that at the perfect width for that to be completely straight up and down, because I want this to be at the top.
Right.
So what I need to do now is figure out where I want to do that hinge, and I actually may do that hinge. It's going to be right here on the middle part of here, and then that'll make it real easy for me to find over here on this other side as well. So, because I want this at the same level where that nail, where that piece is going to go. So I'm going to need to put a hole here. And then I'm going to need to do the same thing on this side here. So this is going to where it's going to get, like I said, going to get kind of tedious because there's going to be some measuring going. So I wish you were able to, can you field the comments, Gary?
No, nope. I can see them.
Okay. So you can see them. So we'll refer to them that way.
Yep.
Next time I'll send you my other link.
No problem.
But yeah, so I'm going to start measuring this up. And so I'm going to, like I said, it's kind of tedious. I'm going to be, you'll hear the motors turning as I'm doing this because I want to make sure this doesn't move as I'm doing it. And I got to put it to the side a little bit so it doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and put some marks on here. So as I'm talking, I'll let you talk over me, Gary.
Yeah, no problem. While you're doing
So
that for a few minutes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do. Let's see here. I want this shot there. There we
That
go.
works. Hey everybody.
Yeah. So this is I love StreamYard. I mean, this is one of those things that just absolutely
we love StreamYard.
is so great about.
StreamYard's been great. You know, we've been. You know, it started back. We actually kind of found it almost with. Hey Daphne, she's saying hi. We were doing Google Hangouts on air for the beginning of Geocache Talk, and we got notified that Google Hangouts on air was going to be going away, and so I immediately started looking around, you know, trying to find sort of an alternate. And to be honest with you, I don't even know how we ran across. This is before anybody knew about StreamYard. Now you kind of see it in. Yeah, you see it on there. Everybody's on it. YouTube is on it. Pretty much all the geocaching podcasts use it that have live, that have audio or video. And so, we went across it, and it was really in its pretty infancy stage. Tried out the test, you know, the non-subscription one, and once we tried it, it was great. And they've done a lot.
Oh, they've been so much background, everything that they've upgraded. Oh, just to give everybody kind of what I just did.
Yeah,
I had that other piece of that handle, and what I did is, since it's sitting right up against the front of the door, I just slipped that in there, and that gave me a perfect width that I needed to do on this line. So just kind of used. This is why I don't throw my scraps away. I mean, there's scraps. You don't ever see this. So I kind of like that for a handle, anyways. And I may put this on the outside for a handle too, versus doing something else. But that just gave me the perfect width that I needed for the inside to do my line on there, so I know right where I need to line this up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of somewhat aspect of it, maybe. Well, I was going to say cheat, but I'm not going to cheat. I was thinking about doing something different, but I'm going to have to flip it over anyways. Yeah, I was trying to think if I was going to be able to slip that piece in at the same time and do the line. Maybe. So I'm just kind of getting all my lines lined up. So when I come back in and do the hinge, I know where I want to do some other aspects of it too, because there's going to be some different parts of it, because I'm going to be adding some magnets into this as well to kind of lock things into place. So there's just a whole bunch of different things that I'm going to be doing. So, got Steven. Steven's on as well. Hey, Steven, love to have you come on. Sometime we can talk about doing some AutoCAD stuff, even on maybe even here or on Gadget Talk. So that would be awesome. Love to have you come on to even talk about CAD programs, because that's something that, as we're doing a lot of these different builds, would be really fun to do. So, all right. So now I'm just going to pull that one.
Yeah, it's nice to know somebody who knows CAD. It's always nice.
It is. All right. So now I'm pulling this piece out. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put where the pin's going to lock right in here. And we'll get that here in a second, because what I need to do now is when I did this line inside here, and move this out so we can see which thing. Well, I'm going to have to take it out anyways. So, as I did this line in here, I'm going to actually come in here and I'll put the board here and space it out and do another line straight up, because that's going to give me the dimensions of where that's going to be. Because when I put this over on my drill press, I need to put a hole right in the exact spot that I need that hinge to be at. So that's what we're gonna be jumping over on the drill press here pretty soon to set that up. But I'm gonna finish setting this up real quick with all my lines. And this is, like I said, this is the part that gets kind of tedious, because I mean, you're measuring, you got to make sure this lines up just
perfect,
right. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah. You know, something else while you're doing that, I thought of, we forget that PVC I don't know about in Australia, Darren. You'd have to let us know, or whoever else is in from other countries. But at least in the U.S. and more probably in the South, because we don't get a lot of snow or ice or any that kind of situation, that PVC is used a lot. As far as plumbing, a lot of PVC is used in the U.S. in the southern U.S. as far as and we're talking about exterior, and you'll see also where electrical companies will use PVC. You'll see pieces of PVC along, say, a telephone pole, and so they'll like string electrical. They'll make it like conduit, basically, and so you'll see this PVC. It's like they make it into a plastic conduit along a telephone pole. So obviously, You're talking about out in the weather, 24/7.
24/7.
Yeah, and they're trusting it. Obviously the PVC. Oh, okay. James is saying they have trouble finding PVC in Aussie land. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cool, James. I wonder if you get but that's of course pipe, but again, still PVC. But I'm wondering if he can get the boards. I don't know, maybe because I didn't really notice PVC boards one day. I happened to go look, and sure enough, Home Depot had PVC boards. So,
oh yeah, they got tons of it, and that's yeah. So now what I'm going to do is turn everything over. I'm not going to worry too much about no, it's still on. Too much about the bottom of this. So, so I just saw this on here. Dave is saying, hope you see my package in the mail today for oh, nice. Go Cache Fest. Yeah, I got another package, and here in a little bit, I may give a preview, a spoiler of one that's come in. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because you may know how to do it, but you may not know how to do it. And even if I show you what it is, you won't know the code to get into it. So that's even, and that's what I love about Dave's caches is, yeah, there's so much. They're so fun, and as I'm just making sure everything's lined up here as I'm putting everything back into place. They're so much fun, and the variety of them is just really great. I love working with Dave on building caches. It's just, and his smart caches are so cool.
Yes,
so much
absolutely.
Fun. I love them. Absolutely love them. So, I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to get this lined up this other side so I can go ahead and do the marks on this other side. That way, when I go to the drill press, I can do all this first set of drilling all at one time. Okay, just about got it. Let me just clamp the top part. Like I said earlier, when I mentioned you can't have enough clamps in a workworkshop, that's
cool. For sure. Just when you think you have enough, you run out.
Well, and I went to Harbor Freight not too long ago, which is a dangerous store for me anyways.
The great Harbor Freight, yep. Harbor Freight, though, I'll be honest, you have to kind of, it's a little hit and miss. You have to kind of look around because once in a while you're like, is that really a deal? But most of the time, they're a good deal.
Yeah, very true.
You just have to keep your eye open. Yep.
But it's
kind of like going to a garage sale. Once in a while, you're like,
Let me see here. I found these clamps. I want to do other projects, but I found these super long clamps, a 36-inch clamp.
Yeah, those are rare.
$5.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Wow, that's
$5.
$5.
$5. So yeah, these I can't even put them on where I normally put my clamps. So I just had to stick them up over here.
Yeah, that's
so long. Yeah, it's crazy. That's kind of the stuff that you can find. With the clamp, because I want to do some other stuff besides caches and doing different things.
Just when you think you don't need one that long, you end up needing one that long.
Oh yeah. I could have used it when I built this cabinet for my wife. I could have used it for that a long time ago, and that would have been so much easier locking some stuff into place. So once again, I'm just coming in here and drawing out my lines. And the other thing about this PVC is that it will actually, you can come back in and just erase it. I can go back in and erase all my lines as well.
Yeah. So Daphne asks, is it better than wood? It depends, of course, on your application, Daphne. But um, PVC board, as far as again, gadget caches out in the wild, weather, all that, um, it is it's superior in that sense. Now, depends on what you're doing. I think it paints well too, right? You can paint it up pretty well.
Yeah, it does. It holds paint very nicely.
That's good. Sand it, anything you want with it, really.
Yeah.
Darren saying he hasn't been able to find any PVC board. Um, yeah, I know that at least in the U.S., and I don't know what's what you have for stores in Australia. We have sort of the big ones are for us are of course Lowe's, Home Depot. Um, then there's a lot of smaller ones, at least in the U.S. I know there's other stores.
Yeah.
But yeah, James having trouble finding it. I hopefully it'll eventually make its way down there.
I hope so. I mean, I've seen it.
It's a great product.
It is a great product,
not,
and I've seen, and none of this is sponsored. I wish, but none of it's sponsored.
Yeah, really.
But I've also seen it in bigger sheets too. Besides the PVC, like how this is kind of like a siding. So this is kind of like a siding pieces. I've seen it in like sheets, like you'd find a 4x8 sheet of PVC, and it's just that way. But you're talking $80 a sheet, 80 US, and that's I mean that's pretty hefty. I mean that wood can be up there as well.
I've seen them as just boards. Like I'm trying to think, not really 2x4. They're more like would be 2x8. What are the sizes you normally get them in?
These, these are. Let's see here.
They're bigger than about 2x8.
Yeah.
That seems about
all right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my square, and I'm going to go ahead and mark. Let me get to the shot here. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to mark where I want the center of that hole. And since I've already marked where that shelf is, and I want it to actually rotate on that shelf, which is about an inch up from the bottom, and so that'll be right there. So I want to come right into the middle of that. So now let's see here. Let's use this one. This way I know exactly where I'm going to be doing it. So it's about 1.5 inches. Nope, it's 1.25 inches. So 1.25 inches is the center where I want that. So I'm just doing the kind of an X right there on this one. And I'm going to grab this other one. And since I already know it's 1.25 inches, coming up here, I'm just going to go ahead and do another X here. All right, so I might have marked that last one wrong somewhere. I'm going to double check my measurements here, because what does Tom say? Measure 5 times, cut 3 times, and you're still short. So
exactly.
So, but yeah,
I don't know if
double check some measurements. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the correct PVC. I'm looking right now to take a look, but there's a place in Melbourne, Panels World. All one word, Panels World. But I'm looking now to see if they've got PVC, but I don't know if it's the correct PVC. But you may have to go outside your normal sphere and look at some companies that maybe you wouldn't normally think of. That's not, because we all think hardware, obviously. But I'm wondering if, maybe maybe think outside of a hardware store. Think more of maybe a panel. Like I was saying, I looked at Panels World. That's a possibility. Oh, hey, somebody from Daniel from Germany. Daniel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my light shot went out on me. So we're going to
Depends
be
on where you are.
yeah. So
it's apparently almost midnight there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody that was on earlier from Germany that it was going to be 10
James.
o'clock. When I don't know if they're still on now or not. But
yeah, we're going to have a guest on here in a few weeks who lives in Singapore. So
cool.
Do the math on that time frame. It's kind of like Australia. I mean, you can kind of do some of them, not exact, but we talked about, it's a Sunday night live show, but yet, I talked to him. I go, I think it's gonna be sometime Monday for you. He goes, I'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, there's Patrick from Sweden. Yeah, we love all our European folks.
Oh, yeah.
We had such a great time. It reminds me of when we did CashCon last year. We had a lot of European. We had people all over the world watching, which was really fun. And early on, as we cruised through the 9 hours, you could kind of see people sort of join from different parts of the world based on where they were. Not some people stayed on a long time, but there was people that were like, early on were, part of one time frame, and they kind of worked their way around to others.
Oh, sorry. Let me look at that shot real quick. Yeah,
that's cool.
Let me move this camera for you guys so you can see what we're going to be doing here. So I've got this other shot set up on my drill press, and we're on my Shopsmith, that I use all the time. I absolutely love the Shopsmith. But so I've got that lined up right where I want it now. Hopefully the camera doesn't adjust as I'm doing this, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in, and I've got it set right so it's not gonna go. I'll actually show you when I bring it down. It's not gonna go all the way to the bottom because I don't want this to go through all the way through. And that's what's really great about using a drill press, is that it's gonna be in that spot every time. So, all right, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and kick it on. Hopefully it's not.
Nope. It's not bad. Yeah, HNG, yeah, we're definitely. Oh, there's
the hole. So it's not all the way through, so you're not seeing it here. Now this is the hole where we're gonna be using the nail to make that hinge. So that's why it's that size, but we'll get back into that in a second. As I'm doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and get the next one set up. And it should, before I even turn it on, I'm gonna double check where it's at. Yep. All right, here we go. Just like butter.
There you go.
So,
perfect.
Yep, perfect. You see, that's one of the great aspects of the Shopsmith, and I don't know how many people know about the Shopsmith. I mean, I've seen me working with it all the time. You see it as a drill press. You've seen it as a table saw. I have the bandsaw aspect of it. There's so much that I have for this.
Router, probably could put a router.
You can do a router, but I have my other routers. I could. But what's cool about this one is that it's 60 years old.
Hey, some of the best, things like that have been around forever.
Yeah, so it's 60 years old, and that just blows me away. All right, so where that's set there is a great place for. I'm gonna have to bring the depth of it up a little bit because I don't need it that deep. Because when I actually do the magnets, and I'll be using. When's the stream in? Daniel, when does the stream in? Daniel's asking
when he's done.
Yeah, when I'm done. I don't know.
Sorry.
Hopefully, maybe by 5. I don't know. 5 US Central.
Hi, Daphne.
So sorry, Daphne. It's going to be up on YouTube, so you can always go check it back there as well. So go check that out. So, I wish I had such a big workshop to build caches. Well, this was my garage. So it's a 2-car garage. Actually, it's a large 2-car garage, and those are out in the, not in the street, but in the driveway. But if I ever needed to, I can actually push my workbenches out of the way and be able to use it. So, not that that's going to happen anytime soon, but it can. All right,
we live in the South. Once in a while, you got to be prepared for hail, and you got to stick a car in a garage. Otherwise, that's not why garages are made. They're made to make stuff.
Make stuff. That's right. So, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to this camera here, and I'm going to go ahead and go full screen on this one so you can see it really good. All right. So once again, I 3D printed this piece in here, and what's going to happen is this is going to come in here, and this will just slip right inside. But before I even do that, because I want this to be able to always portray up. Now, what I need to do on this, and this is what the other aspect that I got, and I'm gonna have to cut these, but I have these springs, and we mentioned this before. So the spring's gonna go in there before the nail, and I'm gonna have to cut it because I don't want it to. Oh, I'm gonna use this, so I'm gonna cut probably about half of it off, and I'll be able to use the same spring on both sides. So. And this is going to be trial by error. I got extra springs just in case this doesn't work. Because I am kind of, on this aspect of it, kind of am flying by the seat of my pants on this part of it. Because, yeah. But what I want to do is put that in place. And like I said, I 3D printed this piece like I did on the other one. And I want this to be completely flush. And what's cool about trying to get it in there right now is I'll be able to pull it out as well. But when I push it down, let's see here. That's not doing exactly what I want it to do. I wanted to kind of come in, and I may need it. There we go. I think it slipped. And with this like I said, there's what happened. I may have to do another piece. It kind of got wrapped in there. Let's see here. Didn't necessarily want to use this yet, but this is when you start improvising, kind of seeing how this may work. I'm going to use a magnet in here. Oh, that's going to be too thick. I need something, a washer, because I don't want that to slip down inside. I think you can still see it. No, you can't slip it. I want this to come down like this, compress. But I want it to be that size there. Now, when I did print this, I do have, and it's upstairs, I do have the other pieces of this, so it'll fit in there, and I might be able to do that, but then that's not going to spring as well as I want it to. But what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and I'm going to set this up so there it doesn't. I only really need it to spring up one time, to tell you the truth. And that's just kind of...
Why is that?
Because when I put it in place, I want that to spring out to lock it.
Oh, that's true. I got you now. I follow you.
I just want it to basically lock it one time. And once it's locked, it's there. So really, I only need to do the spring on one side. And that may give a little bit so it wiggles too much. So I don't know. I'm trying to do some trial and error on this at the same time. So it may or may not work, and that's just part of this of an idea of it going in there. Now the other option, and this may be the other better way of doing this, instead of using the spring at all, is go ahead and cut that. And when I put it together, I'll put this in the middle and put the walls right onto it and then glue everything in place. That's probably going to be the better aspect of it, instead of using the spring that I was thinking of, because I think that's going to have too much wiggle in there that it would cause more issues and not the cache to work. So I'm going to scrap the spring idea completely because to see how this is going to work. So what I'll do is come in and I'll figure out where I want to cut this. So I'm going to leave. Well, technically, I could just about leave that entire nail in place there. So yeah, anybody that wants to say, what do you think of that idea instead of scrapping? Because I think the spring, because that's going to cause that to move quite a bit in there, and I think that's going to be an issue. Now, what I will do, so it doesn't move quite so much, is I can push this this piece down further into it, and I can print more of them, and I can double stack them in there, so it'll lock that nail into place.
Can you show us
the plug?
It's a little off camera there.
Oh, sorry.
Garrett, can you show us? Yeah, show us a little bit. Talk a little bit about what you're doing there.
All right, so what's going on? See how the nail is moving here with it in place? Yeah. So what I need to do, and I'll do that. I have more of these pieces, and it only takes like 5 minutes for me to print these up. But this will give us a concept, and I'll just have to print more up, and I'll shove them down in here and get it nice and flush. But what I'm going to do is leave the nail in here. I'm going to cut the nail here in a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use the drill press and do 2 more holes up here at the top on here for the magnets to go in, so it'll lock in place. But what I'm going to do is I'll just cut the nail real quick, leave probably about an inch off from the bottom of it, and that way it'll lock in place. What I'm doing is really making a hinge inside this, and I don't want it to be able to pull out as easy.
Right.
I mean, I could run a complete rod all the way through, but I don't have a bit, and most people don't have a bit to be able to run through a full 2x8, 2x4, or 2x6, whatever, or 1x6, or anything to go all the way through. So that's why I'm doing these partial using the nail, because
you have to
just about all of us can get nails and do this. This is going to be pretty easy to do. So that's what I'm going to do.
You could route part of the way, flip it, and then route the other way. But I agree. But
right.
That's
so
what James is saying.
Yeah. James is saying I agree. The spring could be problematic, and I think that, like I said, when doing these builds, sometimes you have this great idea that, hey, maybe this will work really great, and then when you actually start building it, nope, that's not going to happen. Let's just scrap that complete idea, and let's go a different direction. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go a different direction on this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and because I can pretty much just draw a line on this nail, and I'll go ahead and where I'm going to cut it. And I have a hacksaw over here. I'm going to leave quite a bit onto it, because what I'll do is come in, and once I cut it, when I'm putting it all back together before I glue it, I'll put this inside part together as well, and it's already there. It's not going to come out. It's already in place, and I'm going to make sure before I glue it, everything, I'm going to have it nice and clamped, and we're going to see how this works. So
right.
So, all right, so that one's done. Now the next part is I need to drill some holes for my my magnets, and these are pretty easy to do, and I've already got the bit over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up over here. And Gary, I'll let everybody talk amongst themselves.
Those are neodymium magnets, right? The real strong ones.
Yes, these are the rare earth magnets. Yeah, I absolutely love those. In fact, I got more coming in Monday.
Oh yeah,
for Owen over in the UK, who does a lot of the Gadget cache, the 3D prints. Yeah. I did one of his large, what is it? The Hidden Maze, and it has an instant reset, and which is very crucial on a lot of these builds. And
right.
He's got that on there, and it's had these different size magnets. So I've got some of the magnets coming in for that to be able to do it, because it causes another, kind of like what I was trying to do here with the pin, where it pops out, but it does it with magnets, and it repels it.
I like I like that. Yeah, because we always
think
that's
an idea.
We always think of magnets in the magnetized, but you can also use it in the opposite.
Well, all right. Just for kicks, let's look at that. Okay, let me make sure I'm repelling. Oh, this hole's too small. I have to do
this size, which I
okay.
Really
Hold
like.
on. I have a piece that has the right hole size. Hold on.
You have to be real careful with these magnets, but
okay,
I like
I'm
this
just curious. I'm just curious about something real quick.
These are big.
Nope. Okay, so let me. Well, let's play with a theory real quick. I want to see if something works, and let me get another bit, and let me find where they are. I need to go a little bit bigger than what I'm about to use, and this is a 3/8, and I want to use a. All right, so let's do this. I'm just curious because the way he has it working, the magnets repel, and I'm wondering instead of using a spring, how would this work? And it's just like I said, this when you have the shop and you can kind of play around, sometimes we'll see what this may work, this may not work. So I'm just going to use once again another piece of scrap wood, or not wood but scrap, and let's see. Okay, whoop, I went too far. It didn't lock right. All right, let's try it again. Okay. All right, so now I've got this. I am just curious how this would work. So I got 2 magnets. All right, so I got one in place. Of course, I need to use something non-ferrous to push it down in. Yo-yo.
Yep.
Come on, yo-yo. All right. Yep. And make sure that I'm getting the right side.
Yep. That's definitely you have to check the north-south pole.
Nope, it needs to be the other one. Okay, so. And I've got it so loose in there that it's flipping. It actually literally turned inside there. But I was wondering.
Right. It wanted to burst.
The joy of magnets.
Yeah, I had an idea one time for a, hopefully everybody takes a moment in their brain to think about the perpetual motion machine, even though it's laws of thermodynamics work against it. But I always thought that if somebody used magnets, because magnets are always neodymium magnets, they're strong, and they're always, they always have Gauss, they always have magnetism. If somebody could harness that some way, you could force it to.
You know what? That might work as my idea instead of using a spring.
Right.
But I don't know if I could go deep enough without going through the other part. Because all right, you can see this. I'm gonna let go, and I need to have safety glasses on.
See how far it goes.
I'm gonna stay away from. I don't need. Hold on. I don't need a nail in the eye. Let me put these on real quick. I kind of like my eyes. I use them for a lot of
protection.
Stuff. All right. Fun with magnets. Show's just not entertaining. It's educational. Crap. I had it. Now I've lost it. Okay, let's try it again. Push it in there. Make sure I'm repelling. Nope. Not repelling. Try it again. See, experimenting. This is what Gadget Cache builders do. We experiment. Okay, there we go. All right. Hopefully everybody can see this. I'm going to try and adjust this camera so you can see it better. All right. So I'm going to let go because I just did and it shot up. 3, 2, 1. So, well, it didn't do it that time, but it did it a second ago. But maybe that would be
enough.
An option. See how it kind of springs?
Right.
Literally lost it there. But yeah, that would probably be a lot more doable. But I don't think I have enough width in here to be able to pop it up in place all the time. But that's an idea. that I could play with on something else. So I love working with magnets, and that's this really cool.
Oh, me too.
So,
so yeah, Daniel's asking about your caches, and everybody is a little bit different. I have some caches I've never put out yet because I don't feel like they're quite ready yet.
Yeah,
they need some more thought. But yeah, Derek's put out obviously some.
I put remember my concept and my theory on what I do. I don't put out a lot of caches because I'm only going to put out what I'm going to be able to maintain. I'm only one person, and I want to make sure that my caches out there are maintained. And a lot of what I do on my channel is I'm giving concepts and ideas, and I'm still working through a lot of different stuff on them. And a lot of times I give a lot of my caches away, or I sell them, or do something with them, so I can build more caches and do more stuff. But I love putting caches out there, and depending on where I'm going to put them. Cache Fest, I got several different places that a lot of my caches are going to be going out at that point.
Yep.
So those are going to be going out pretty a lot there. So I've got back storage of caches all throughout my garage, and I have another little storage shed that has got several of them out there as well.
No, that's smart.
So that kind of answers. I think that kind of answers Daniel's question there. But yeah, that's kind of my aspect of it. Don't put anything out that you're not willing to maintain. You want to keep the game board clean and everything when you put it out there. So that's how I do it.
I agree.
Sorry, I'm looking at Darren. Darren had a comment. Yeah, opposing fields that when we're playing with the magnets.
So yeah, Dave's saying he uses magnets to replace my.
And a tall washer, yeah. In fact, with here, I can just change the height on the print and just stick it all down in there and just sand it flush with what I need. That's probably, Darren. That's probably a much easier way of doing this. Instead of printing, I'm going to print 15 of these little things and shove them down this hole. No, I'll just print one and shove it down, make my own plug. Much better idea. See, it would have come a lot longer for me to come up with that idea at this point.
Teamwork.
Yep, teamwork, and that's what we do this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch up my drill press again and get ready to do the magnet hole onto this one here. So let me go ahead and get that changed up.
Yeah.
Wow, that tea's still hot. Okay. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming on with me today.
Oh, no problem. My son's coming in town today, flying in from Georgia, and so he just landed in Dallas, so he'll be out here in a little while. But
okay, cool.
He's planning on coming to Cache Fest as well, so that's going to be fun.
That's exciting.
Have my son with me. He of my kids, you were talking about earlier about kids and their, especially now that cache has been around for a while. I think that I think you'll see maybe obviously different trends, but one of the trends I've noticed is that my kids tend to go through phases where they're interested and then they're not interested. So they kind of go through this. Whereas, so like if your kids kind of don't want to do any caching, anymore, give it time. They might come back to it. I mean, my kids,
Yep.
My kids, they enjoy it, but Caleb kind of came back to it after college, and he went on to, career, and he's the single son that I have, and not that it matters versus single or married, but just that, he kind of wanted to get back into it because it was something that he wanted to get out more. And so, you never know, your kids might be more interested, once they're out of the house, and
yeah,
you never know.
Yep.
Never know.
All right, so now I'm going to come back over here. All right, so I got the hole there for one of the magnets, and I didn't want it deep. I want it to pretty much be flush, and I do know that that's going to be pretty tight when it goes in there. In fact, I'm going to have to take, and I was testing this earlier, I'm going to take another bit and just kind of widen it up. Just, it's not that one. I think it's the one that I had earlier. Just widen the tip of it, just the front of it up, so it just slips right into place. So I'm just going to not do it with a drill. I'm going to do it by hand. So I can just open it just a little bit. Because if I use the other, it's going to open it up way too much. And then I can just push that into place. Yep. Okay. So that one's in place now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm all lined up here because I want this at the same spot, of course. In fact, what I'll do, let's see what's going to be the easiest way to do this. I'll come from the bottom. Okay, so I'm just kind of measuring it up.
PVC is not going to swell or shrink or any of that kind of stuff.
No. So I don't have to worry about my tolerances as much. It's just going to lock right in there. Okay.
Yeah, so you're, because, depends on where you are in the world, but I know for us, I'm in Texas and Derek's in Tennessee, so we're not too far apart. I mean, we're about 6 hours driving apart from each other, and we have a lot of extremes. I know different parts of the world have different extreme weather. And what I mean by extreme, I mean extreme temperature differences. So, say for Hawaii, it doesn't have a lot of extreme temperature changes. Depends on where you are in Hawaii, but you get the idea. Within Texas and Tennessee, we can have, -4, or we can have 104. So I mean, we can have some variations, and so having
that's
something like this is, well, almost sometimes. There is a picture that somebody took of in Texas. It was like a 70-degree difference in the same state. So PVC is, again, we don't sell PVC, but I think it's a great product.
It is. I really do. Like I said, I've said it many times. I like using it because of the versatility. And I've taken it and I've used, okay, that magnet had junk on it. It won't go in. It was previous used magnet, so I needed to use a clean one. And then I'm just going to kind of push that into place. And I may have to get my rubber mallet and just make sure that those are nice in there. And I may have to come back and open that up just a little bit more, just to make sure those are nice and flush later. Because what I'm going to be doing is taking that shelf that we made earlier, and I'm going to do another magnet at the top of that at the same spot. And that way I can, and once again, those are going to actually attract. So that'll be a lot easier to put in together. Be able to put in. So when I put it in here, that'll actually, when this opens, and it'll open when we do the nail and everything, it should open. It should swing like this and open up. So when we put this all together, this down here, people, when they come to the cache at the bottom, they'll think this is how they get into it. Well, I'm going to have something in there that says, you don't think it's going to be that easy, do you? And so they have to figure out that they'll push the bottom and it should rotate out this way to reveal the cache inside. That's my whole idea behind this one. That's my whole idea behind the cache.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Oz Fox is on.
Hey, welcome.
Might be late
to the party. That's okay. Oh, I just lost that camera. All right. That's all right. Oh, it probably got too hot. We'll come back on in a second. But yeah, so that's the concept that I'm going to be doing with this here, coming in with that. So now that I've got that magnet up there, the next thing I need to do is, and I'm going to probably, since I have a little bit of give on, of course, let me get this camera back up. Let's see here. All right, so now I got that one back up again. So since I have a little bit of give here, I don't have to be exactly precise, but I'm going to be pretty close to it. And what I need to do is I'm going to need to put a hole here so that'll actually receive the nail itself. And I want that nail to be pretty tight. So, I mean, the easiest thing really is to find the center point right here. And I have a tool for that.
Wow, what a shock.
Yeah. In fact, I just printed this yesterday. So I'm just going to kind of line this up and try and keep this bottom part from going down, moving. And what I did is just kind of made a mark right there. And that will help me now. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it on this part of it. So now I've put an X right there where that one's going to go. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. 3D printers, I mean, I could have gone and probably bought one of these things, but it was easier for me to print it. If I can keep this from the hinge from moving. And then I'm just going to kind of do eyeball it again. And put that in there. All right, so now that aspect of it is there. The other part that I need to do, while I still have the
camera died.
Yeah, it's what's happening. Is
Switch.
Yeah, I think it's overheating. I got the battery in there. I'll let it cool down for a little bit because and I got this one over here, so I may change up a second. But thanks for letting me know. But yeah, so while I have this one still set up on the drill press here, what I can do is lower this down a little bit, and I can do my holes up at the top I can do the holes up here.
Right.
That I need for the magnet itself, so that I can put the magnets there, so then I can make sure that all lines up. And then we'll be able to get to the testing really quickly, because I'm just going to use my hand drill to do the hole up here at the top.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to use a drill press for that part of it. I'll just put a bit on and drill it out real quick. So let me get this set up. And let's see here. I'm going to kind of look over. Still nothing else going on there. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. I love seeing that everybody's here from all around the world. I just really do appreciate that. It's just really cool. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get this on set up. Let's see. And that's one thing that's really cool about this too. It's just...
Yeah, it's live. So while Derek's doing that, Oz Fox, we'll ask you, because you're also in Australia, if he has ever found PVC boards in a store anywhere. So again, depending on where you are in Australia, I'm wondering if there are stores that have the PVC board, which is really kind of, cool to use if you can find it. I know that we've had some issues in some of the parts of the US with lumber, but I don't know. Did you have any trouble getting PVC board of late, Derek? And
no, I haven't. I've never had an issue with getting it. Yeah, no, I've always been able to pretty easy to get it. All right, so what I'm just going to do is marking. I'm just marking where my line is for the. I don't know how much you can see that on that there. It's kind of marking where the magnet's going to go in between. And then once again, I'm going to use my. see if I can get if it'll work. At least I can get a line in there and then kind of just follow it.
Got Hugh here as well from Canada.
Awesome.
So Daniel from Germany. We got people from all over
The world today. Australia, Finland, Canada,
Sweden.
Yep.
Patrick's on from Sweden, or was, yeah. Oz says he's going to have to do some research on it, but that's, yeah.
Yeah, and let us know, because that's something that I would love to know, because I like doing products that people can get from all over the place. I know not everybody around the world has different box stores like what we have. So whatever you have, just let us know. As I'm knocking stuff off my bench, I'm about to hit myself in the head with the...
Not the foam board, actual PVC. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if folks in the different parts of the world have PVC pipe, but think of it as PVC pipe flattened out. Yeah. I'm looking on Lowe's.com to see if I could find a picture to show. Because he never, Oz Fox said he never heard of it, and I was like,
and it may be, sometimes it's called something else, maybe, and it could be, I call it PVC board, and it could be known as something else. Some people call it by a name brand, like Kleenex. We know it's Kleenex, but it also is facial tissue. I mean, it's just different names, different places that have different things. So, and that may be the case of it.
I'm seeing it on Lowe's website. They have it listed as PVC Trim Board.
Yep, trim board. That's another good name for it.
Yeah, so that's a possible, not foam board, because that's different.
Yeah, not foam board. Yeah, foam board or foam core is something completely different, and won't work for an outside cache.
No. Although we've all seen the crazy stuff.
Yeah, not at all. It will not work at all for an outside cache.
No. Although I've seen a baggie work as a cache, that's like, that's not. This. I think it was originally something else.
Yeah.
And that's not going to hold up. But
yeah, let me go over the shot. All right, so got my depth set now, and I will go ahead and knock this out real quick. Yep, I'm gonna have to move my gate. Thought I would when I flipped it over. There we go. See if we can get it lined up. All right. All right, so now we've got those holes in there. I did those a little bit deeper because the magnet's going to, once it's in there, it's going to pretty much, it's going to attract and it's going to lock in there pretty well. So next thing I'm going to do, let's see if I can go ahead and get this camera back up now. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Hugh, as far as durability, MDS, I don't think it's going to really hold up in the wild.
Yeah.
PVC, it's basically a plastic. And so a hardened plastic, I mean, you can look up what I used to know what PVC meant. I can look it up. But it's going to hold up better. Like I mentioned before, PVC pipes are used outdoors, many places. So MDS is just a polyvinyl chloride is PVC. MDS board, if anybody's ever seen, is
MDF board is
MDF board. Yeah, I think though that it's not going to hold up as well. Medium density fiber board. I just don't think you're going to find I mean, in that case, you might as well just use solid wood. I mean,
Well, and if you do use wood, make sure you use the correct wood. Like I would use a. Let's switch this out for. Okay, I would use cedar. Cedar will be good.
well, and you
Cedar
need to
hold
treat
up.
it right too, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
Derek. You want to
cedar
treat it.
has. Well, cedar has its own natural property that it would be a lot. Will do really well too. All right. So now.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
you
gonna,
bet, Hugh. That's where we're here to help. I've put out. I haven't used much PVC yet. A lot of caches that I put out are birdhouses, but they're birdhouses I bought, so they tend to be. Yeah, Darren's talking about how it you'd have to coat it really well. Darren's saying that if it gets wet, it's not gonna last. So you'd have to treat it. And for that case, now again, Hughes in Canada, he might not be able to get PVC board, but if you're going to use a cedar or some kind of wood that the ones that I've used, it's better to treat it. Which with PVC board, you don't have to treat it; it's already ready to go.
No, it's already ready to go. So what I'm doing right now is just trying to get this magnet into the top, and I've had to open it up, and I'm keeping it pretty tight in there.
Yep.
But I'm just having it, like I said, I'm just using the drill bit by hand, because if I don't want it to completely open it all the way up. And the other thing is, I've put a dot on my magnet,
north, south side.
so I know when I put it, when I know which way I want it to. So when I put it in here, I know which side is what. There we go.
Smart. Yep.
So now that will, and I've got lines on there right now, but that'll tract, and hopefully once I put do the screw or the nail on this other side, this will all come together, and then we'll start really, we'll clamp everything together, and we're going to test it. Of course, one of the other things I need to do is I need to, and I'll adjust over here because I'm going to use my hacksaw and I'm going to cut the nails real quick. But I know, and here's one thing, I know I could use a vice grip, but it works really great to cut nails. And this is kind of a neat little hack, is I can put the nail right here.
Oh.
And tighten it down, and I can cut it right out of it. It's a lot easier. And what's really cool, and I'll go ahead and go to the wide shot because I'm going to go ahead and adjust my Shopsmith to make sure I get everything off of it real quick so it doesn't flip around on me. But this is why I love this tool, and that's what this is. It's a tool.
But
it's a.
I'm seeing PVC on Amazon, but you're probably looking at.
I've seen it there.
But
it's going to be. It could be kind of expensive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only going to if you want to buy just a few pieces of it, you're not buying huge sheets of it, you might be able to if you got a coupon, or maybe you've got some Amazon credit burning a hole in your pocket, you might be able to go.
Wait. Somebody's got Amazon credit and they haven't used? Good gosh.
Let me try it. Let me try Amazon.
I don't think that ever happens.
I know. Not for long, right?
I never have that issue. So I know you're seeing I have this up right now, but I'm going to change shots and you'll be able to see the angle that I'll be doing here in just a second. All right, so let's. Yeah. There you go. There you can kind of see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is just put the nail in, and I'm just going to tighten it down.
Oh man, you're not going to believe this.
What's
I went to Amazon I went to the Australian version of Amazon.
Yeah.
It doesn't show up. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
I
mean,
can't find
Pvc
Trim
that's the
Board.
thing. There's different products in different parts of the world. So,
Ugh. Dang it.
now I know somebody's probably going, why don't you just turn it on? Well, it doesn't necessarily work as well. I've tried that.
Oh yeah, to cut it. Yeah, it's not like you got a lathe
Yeah.
or something you could do. It's a crude lathe.
That might help too. Drop. There, now it's not going to wiggle as much. Man, once you get it biting, then you're pretty much good.
Seriously, come on, Amazon Australia. You gotta be. Serious. I'm still searching. I just can't believe
Sorry,
it.
our Aussie friends that were harping on your Amazon. We're not harping on you. We're harping on Amazon. So
I know. I'm going under building materials now. I'm gonna
turn my
get
microphone
serious.
off.
What's that? Oh, so you turn it, yeah. So we can't hear right now while he's cutting. That's no problem. Yeah. Yeah. MDF won't work. You're right. We knew that was a problem. But again, I don't know. Check around. Do some checking in local. Like I said, I found Frame World, but I'm trying to think. There's got to be. You figured somebody would sell it somewhere. I mean, it's just not.
I've seen somebody use MDF, but if you put a lot of primer and sealer and everything else like that, you can do it. It's not pretty. I've even seen particle board, and we've had him on.
Particle board outdoors is not though the greatest.
No, but he's got it in Colorado, and he's never had any issues.
Oh, really?
Because
Interesting.
he's got so much stuff on it, and it's sealed in place, so it works really well. So I mean, it can be done. It's just all in your prep of what you're putting on it. So now let's see if we can get this one to cut.
I'm finding a store in Australia called Bunnings, Bunnings, that looks to be promising. I know I'm going down a rabbit hole that most of the country in other countries don't care about if it's available in Australia, but I find it kind of interesting, to be honest. Is we want to be able to provide. So Bunnings, I would check that store. It looks like they're in several places in Australia. Bunnings. So find a store.
I think it's about time to get a new blade for my hacksaw.
Oh boy, yep. We've all been there.
Yep. So, all right. So we're in an hour and a half in. But we're just about. What I'm doing right now is just kind of filing off the barbs off the nail, real quick.
Yep.
And of course, this camera over here died on me again, so I'm gonna adjust my wide shot in a second, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay.
Oh, Bunnings.
All right.
Bunnings is great, but no PVC board. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You can always ask them too. Go, hey, I'm looking for this product. Maybe they can, without spending a lot of money getting them to source it.
I don't want you having to spend a lot. I mean, the PVC board roughly runs here in the U.S. about $45, anywhere from $20 to $25 to $45, depending on the size that you want.
Right.
So it really
Pieces,
does.
You mean it's a full
Right.
piece? You know about?
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
And
that's about an 8 foot long. That's an 8 foot long.
8 foot long. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So there's how it's going to go. Now, like I said, I'm going to take my drill and I'm just going to use just a easy bit. Make sure I've got the right one I want to use. That'll work. Okay, and I'm just going to drill right on that mark on each side. I'm gonna go kind of deep so it actually goes in there, but that'll just kind of, when I put it in place, that'll lock it in place. And then of course, I'm gonna be doing the filling in the filler on the other side over here. So now I'm just gonna do the same thing here.
Yeah, I did want to mention that I like the misdirect. I kind of like the caches that you've done, and I think you probably talked about the one that you did where it looks like the cache should open one way because
that one,
because it's got hinges on it. I guess tell people real quick about the cache you made like that, because that's such a clever idea.
That one's fun. That was a fun one. That one actually is in Texas somewhere, or it might be in Texas somewhere, because I did that for
Texas Challenge.
Yeah. Once I get that tightened in there, because I can see how it's loose, but I'll add more to them later. But this is basically today we're going to be going through concept. I'll make the adjustments, making that plug, the filler on here. Plus, I can always glue it in place too.
Right.
PVC glue is a wonderful tool, but all I'm doing right now is just kind of getting it in there. It's going to have some give right now, but when I add more into it, it's not going to give like it is right now. But like I said, this is concept.
Yep.
They're really wiggly, but that I can, and the thing is with the nail in there, once I get it out, I can always pull it up. Okay, so, and what I'm doing is just using part of the nail that I'd cut, just kind of getting these in place. All right, so now what I'm going to do is start clamping everything.
Scooby said the 1 year I missed Texas Challenge. Yeah, that was clever.
There's actually two of them. I actually have caches that I've built. I think there may be almost more caches that I've built in Texas than there is anywhere else.
I've got one of yours out. I get
that aren't mine
points all the time. That's right.
Yeah, but they're not mine. So do I count those favorite points? I don't know.
But the concept is great. I loved watching people go through and try to and most people figured it out, but it was a clever concept to get, because it looks like you swear it opens one direction, but it doesn't. Open the opposite.
It's
opposite, fake hinges.
Yep, fake hinges. And the issue that not an issue, but one of the kind of an issue, I guess, is that cache, the hinges, the magnet that I used on that is so strong.
Yeah, it was real strong. So strong that you swear
it was almost ripping. It was almost ripping the board apart.
Yeah. Almost too strong. Yeah.
Yeah. And that one was done, and I would like to do another one somewhat like that, but use PVC board, because that one was done with deck wood, and I have a feeling that one's gonna eventually it's gonna break down.
Right.
Okay, so now I've got this in place. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here, and I'm gonna attach the lid to it. And then we're going to test this. I'm going to clamp everything. And this is, like I said, this is why I use clamps, and you can never have enough clamps. Just got to find all my clamps. I usually keep my clamps on right underneath where that camera is. Is where they're kept. Right. My bench. Okay, so, and I need 2 more. This camera, since this one's not working, I'm going to get that out of the way. Make sure that this is out, so this will turn. Okay, so coming up to a moment of truth. See if this concept works at all. And like I said, inspiration of this was the nail dropping before. And once I glue everything in place, this will be, I think this will, of course, it'll hold a lot better. And then the piece that goes on the top will be completely flush. I don't know if I can put the piece top right now because of where the clamps are.
Right.
But we will see. Actually, I want that on the other side. So we can have it hang down. Okay. Get this tightened up. And I want it, when it's in here and everything in place, I don't want them to be able to see that there's a gap there. So I may have to cheat some stuff over a little bit, because I am seeing a gap there right now, but that's possibly because I don't have everything in place yet.
Yeah, a little sanding you can redo. Yeah.
A little sanding, maybe cheating the size in just a little bit, but we'll get it. I'm gonna go ahead and cheat it in. Okay. And I may have to do. They may have to bring a magnet too. Who knows? Let's see if this, because when I pulled that, it popped. I don't know if you saw that or not. Let me adjust this camera so we can come down here.
Yeah.
Okay, so moment of truth. So I want them, when the lid's up here, when they pull this here, I want this,
Right.
and it's giving a little bit. So they look in here. Oh, that's not that easy.
Okay, so says,
yeah, it's gonna be some sanding that's gonna have to happen. But then when they push, maybe they push. They have this out here. Oh, it's catching here. But then if they push, it drops down.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and when the lid is there, when the top is there, it may not give as much.
Right.
So, but this is, like I said, this is concept idea. I'm try to see if I can hold it there. My other hand. Because, yeah, the bottom would have to be sanded. And it's catching on my clamps right now.
That's okay, though.
But yeah, concept-wise, I think it's going to work. And that's what I wanted to see of how this would do this. And so kind of getting to see a complete build on this one. So here, it's, and actually, if it had to drop a little bit, it'd be like one of those.
So it's clever because the bottom part, you can't see what's inside there.
No. And that's why I put that shelf in there.
Yeah, so it's blocked.
So it has that handle. So maybe when they pull it. Oh, wait. And then what I could do is sand this just a little bit here. And that's the other thing about PVC board. It sands really well. So it'll be a cleaner drop. So it doesn't. So it drops. Like, well, there's nothing there. But if you push it, it comes down. And I could always add another magnet somewhere. Because what I don't want, when this is up here, it should not, once this is in place, it will not push back. It's giving right now because I don't have it locked in there. But it won't push, so they shouldn't be able to push back. They may see, wait, there's a magnet there. How do I get this open? I don't want it to be completely difficult, but I want it to be fun.
Well, like you said, you want to make it so that it stands up to the...
Right.
Well, they say, have a kid test it and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's what's great about my kids. They will test them. But see, the other aspect, when I did this, if this hinge wasn't here and you pushed, you can literally just push it in. If that hinge wasn't there, it wouldn't do that breakaway. It wouldn't go.
But if you don't know that,
that's why that hinge plays in two different parts for it to work.
Oz Fox is saying, "Great cache design will have many scratching their head."
Yeah, I hope so, and I want it to be simple, but I think sometimes the simplest caches are probably some of the most fun, and they can be the most entertaining.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, so you got to see some beta testing, got to see kind of playing around with some different ideas a little bit, with playing around with the magnets, see if that would work. Hopefully, in the next few weeks on the regular behind the cache. Some of the other ones, I'll do some follow-ups on this one, and probably we'll go ahead and get it all working and see how we're going to do it. Just kind of clean it up. Once the pivot points are made a little tighter, the drop will be eliminated. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm looking at. There's some tolerances in there. Once everything's cleaned up, it's just some tweaking to get it done. But seeing the concept, like I said, I didn't want to have to show cutting all this and making dust everywhere, but just kind of the concept of getting to do this and using the drill press and trying to use tools that everybody has. I mean, not everybody has a drill press. I understand that, but you got to use a handsaw. And there's ways that you can do it with a handsaw. If you can get it perfectly up here, up a level, you can use some painter's tape, and you want to set your depth of what you want to do on your tip. So you can always do it that way versus using the drill press. So there's several different ways that you could do it. So let's hear Scooby Loves Pooh says, a great idea. Really appreciate it. So really do appreciate everybody being on here. And Gary, thanks for jumping on and filling in for me as I'm talking. I'm so used to this is why Gadget Talk works so well, because it's Chad and I. We can talk, and when one's working on the other one, one's watching the other.
Yep.
And I didn't have to talk as much, and I didn't lose my voice. So
that's good.
But I do appreciate.
Yep.
So I appreciate everybody joining for today's build. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and if you're watching this at another time, hey, throw in comments, and don't forget, if you come to Cache Fest and you're wanting a cache built by me, you gotta stay at the host hotel, and you'll get a chance to win a cache built by me. And we will actually go in and actually design it. We may do one of these live workshop hangout and have you on, and we'll actually go through the whole design process of how we're going to do it. So we'll kind of brainstorm, have that brainstorm session on there. So yeah, just some great little fun little things that we can do. And then
from the
Cache
Fest website, in case you want it. Yeah, go to
cachefest.com.
Yeah,
and go down to the host hotel. It's $119 a night. You're not going to find at a courtyard, Marriott Courtyard. You're not going to find a better deal than that for a courtyard.
That's a nice one. Yeah,
and it's a nice one, and it's really close to Shelby Farms, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. Really close to a lot of the action that's going to be going on all week. So you want to come stay up there. There's also some rare coins that you might get a chance to win.
Yep.
But it's only those that stay at that hotel will be up for the prize of a cache that we designed together and that I'll build, and then also the rare coins. So go check that out. You can always send me an email to let's see here, find my emails. You can always send me an email at derek@behindthecache.com. Just let me know what you thought. What Gary's showing a rare coin.
I'm going to throw one of these into the mix.
That's a great coin. That's the Miss Pac-Man coin. Very, very rare. Very rare. Few of those out there. So you want to check that out.
Throw one of those in the mix. So
So that's in the mix.
Yep. We love people to come stay with us at the host hotel just because.
Oh yeah. Well, I won't be staying there.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm going to be sleeping in my own bed here at my house. I mean, I'm 2 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles away from Shelby Farms and a lot of the stuff. So I'm sleeping here.
Yeah. Don't blame you. I'll be there. A lot of people will. Joshua's staying with us.
Yep.
All
right. So send me an email at behindthecache.com. Any comments or questions, or if you have any ideas, let me know. Or you can always tag me on any of the social media, and that's Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at Behind the Cache. And so just really look forward to it. Love seeing what everybody's building, and love the comments, and love that today we had everybody from all around the world. That is just so awesome. And I just thank everybody for joining me. And I am going to be signing off here. And I hope to see you next time. Later on this week, we'll be doing. I'm actually going to be following this up this week. I'm going to be back in the shop, of course, on Tuesday is when was my shop day, and I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this one. I'll get this ready, and hopefully this one will be ready to go pretty soon. And those that are watching, maybe you get a chance to find this at Cache Fest. I don't know. or this may be up for a silent auction. I don't know. It just depends on what happens. We'll see what goes on. But thanks for joining me, and I will catch you later on this week. And just have fun, have a great weekend, and see you later.